Gemini Man stars Will Smith's ego going up against the only other one big enough to challenge his. It's his, guys. Get it? As Smith was less than 2 days from retirement, he finds that he has been set up and eventually gets into a Mortal Kombat-style mirror match where he starts punching himself in different clothes. Also, he's like 30 years younger, but this is Will Smith we're talking about, and the guy looks like he's in his early 30s anyway, so who am I to say what he can or can't do in this film? And while avoiding his younger clone, Smith must traverse the globe to discover the reason for why he's being targeted for assassination. And along for the ride is Wong from Doctor Strange for getting his portal rings, which would have made international travel much easier, and Ramona Flowers, who also has conveniently misplaced her purse with a giant mallet, but didn't forget her combat skills, so she's not as useless as Wong. It's rather incredible to me that Will Smith has not changed his persona throughout his whole career. No matter what he's done, everything from Independence Day to I Am Legend, he's been the same person we've all come to know and love, like an Italian plumber high on mushrooms. I get that your name and persona are your brand. Hell, I'm just a guy on the internet who cracks jokes and loves 16-bit art. So I understand the appeal of creating a representation of who you are to sell to audiences. And by being who he is and picking specific projects, there probably won't be a lot of blood either. You can tell Gemini Man was designated to be a rated R at some point, but was knocked down to PG-13 once Smith was attached. With the exception of a single scene, there is very little blood in this film. This is one of the few movies a vampire in withdrawal could watch and get by without eating the person sitting next to him. The action scenes are hit and miss for me. There is a chase scene on bikes that isn't half bad, if you ignore the fact that Smith and his clone are cream-of-the-crop marksmen who can shoot a grenade out of the air mid-throw and return to sender. Then it ends with the clone fighting Smith and trying to kill him with his bike like Ang Lee was watching a bunch of Travis Pastrana videos for inspiration. Then again, the hand-to-hand scene between Smith and his clone is perhaps the highlight of the film. If you can get past the 1,000,001 close-ups of headshots, that is. These are the kinds of close-ups I made fun of in my review for 47 Meters Down Uncaged, in which the shots set up who was about to die. So the whole time I was like, are they gonna blow this person's head off or what? Don't tease me like this, movie. Oh, and there are no civilians around unless required. Like the bike chase scene taking place through a resort town so packed that if Smith wiped out the bike he could get a kill streak. Then all remaining action scenes afterward have no one around. Like the shootout against Clive Owens' group at the end in the town. People are nowhere in sight or earshot of even the rocket explosion, like Kevin McAllister got his Christmas wish. And yes, Clive Owens is the bad guy with no lead-up suspense or twist. Just bam, bad guy. The only thing being twisted is his non-existent evil mustache that if he had one, I'm sure it would have been made into twine. Just need a damsel tied onto railroad tracks and Muttley to complete the set. And before we conclude, yes, the de-aging technology applied is astounding. The first shots of Smith's clone you see look like he was in MIB 1 again. Then there is the final shot of him in broad daylight, and the clone looks like a blow-up doll, so it's not quite there yet. Gemini Man is just a gimmick of a boss fight, and the movie Gemini Man is just a below-average movie. Pacing is kind of fast. The dialogue should have been reviewed to eliminate moments of repetition and monotony, and repetition and monotony and repetition. Clive Owens' plan makes sense on a pure logical and logistical standpoint. CGI is a little spotty here and there, and you could probably skip this one like your New Year's resolutions.